Amy Lynn Bradley was born on May 12, 1974, in Petersburg, Virginia, to Ron and Iva Bradley. Growing up in a close-knit family, Amy was known for her vibrant personality and athletic prowess, particularly excelling in basketball, which she played during her high school years. Amy graduated from Longwood University with a degree in physical education and was contemplating her next career move in 1998. She was described by those who knew her as friendly, outgoing, and very close to her family, which included her parents and her younger brother, Brad. In March of 1998, seeking a break from their daily routines and a chance to bond as a family, the Bradleys decided to embark on a Caribbean cruise. This was not just any vacation, but a celebratory trip aboard the Rhapsody of the Seas, a Royal Caribbean cruise ship famed for its luxury and the exotic allure of its destinations. The cruise was a special treat from Ron Bradley to the family, reflecting a spur-of-the-moment decision meant to bring relaxation and joy. The family boarded the cruise ship on March 21, 1998, filled with anticipation of the adventures that lay ahead. They were scheduled to visit several islands, including Curacao and Aruba. The trip began joyously, with Amy and her brother Brad spending time together, exploring the ship, participating in activities, and enjoying the entertainment. Unbeknownst to them, this family vacation would soon turn into an unimaginable ordeal, marking the last moments they would share together before Amy's mysterious disappearance. The evening of March 23, 1998, was lively and filled with the usual excitement one expects on a cruise ship. Amy, along with her family, had enjoyed a pleasant dinner and decided to take in some of the ship's nightly entertainment. As the evening progressed, Amy and her brother, Brad, spent time dancing and socializing in the ship's dance club. They were seen together enjoying the atmosphere well into the night. In the early hours of March 24th, after a night of festivities, Brad and Amy returned to their cabin around 3:30 a.m. Brad reported that he last saw Amy relaxing on the balcony of their cabin before he fell asleep. Not long after, around 5:15 a.m., Amy's father, Ron, saw her asleep on the balcony as he got up for the day. When he returned to check on her at about 6 a.m., Amy was no longer there. This marked the last confirmed sighting of Amy by her family. Amy's sudden and unexplained absence sent a shockwave of panic through the Bradley family. They immediately notified the ship's crew, prompting a search of the vessel. The initial response from the crew was a mix of skepticism and urgency. While disappearances were not common, the vastness of the ship and the possibility of a person going overboard meant every second was critical. The family was distraught, and their reactions were compounded by the fear and uncertainty of being in the middle of the ocean, seemingly isolated from immediate external assistance. They pushed for a thorough search and insisted that the ship's captain use the public address system to alert other passengers of Amy's disappearance. However, there was significant delay before the ship's authorities treated the situation with the gravity it deserved, a point of contention and frustration for the Bradley family, who felt precious time was being lost. As hours turned into days, the initial chaos and disbelief slowly transformed into a grim reality. Amy had vanished in circumstances that were as mysterious as they were alarming. The cruise ship continued its journey, and the search, both on the ship and in the waters along the ship's route, yielded no trace of Amy, deepening the mystery and the agony for her family. Upon being alerted to Amy Lynn Bradley's disappearance, the cruise ship staff initially conducted a cursory search of the immediate areas around her family's cabin and public spaces where she was last seen. As the gravity of the situation set in, the ship's security team expanded their search efforts to include all public and crew areas, cabins, and lifeboats, ensuring no corner was left unchecked. Despite the Bradley family's urgent pleas, the ship did not immediately use its public address system to inform all passengers of Amy's disappearance. This delay was a critical point of contention and would later be criticized as a missed opportunity to gather immediate and potentially crucial information from other passengers and crew members. It wasn't until several hours had passed that a ship-wide announcement was made. The captain of the Rhapsody of the Seas also faced criticism for his decision to continue sailing towards the next port of call rather than immediately locking down the ship or turning around to trace back their route. This decision was based on the initial assumption that Amy could not have gone overboard, a premise later questioned by both the family and external observers. The FBI and Coast Guard were notified as the ship approached its next port. Upon docking, local authorities in Curaçao conducted further searches and began collaborating with the FBI to investigate the possibility of foul play or an accidental overboard incident. The U.S. and Dutch authorities worked together, interviewing passengers and crew members, reviewing security footage, and coordinating efforts with maritime agencies to search the surrounding waters, albeit with no significant findings. The cruise line's handling of the situation drew significant media attention and public scrutiny. The delayed response and perceived lack of urgency were criticized not only by the Bradley family, but also by safety advocates who argued that stricter protocols and immediate lockdown procedures could potentially have prevented or clarified the circumstances surrounding Amy's disappearance. This case would later influence discussions on the need for more stringent safety and security measures aboard cruise ships. The investigation into Amy Lynn Bradley's disappearance quickly escalated into a complex international effort involving multiple agencies, led predominantly by the FBI. Given the international waters and various jurisdictions the cruise ship traversed, coordination was critical. The FBI, along with maritime security agencies, began an exhaustive investigation that considered every possible scenario that could explain Amy's sudden vanishing. Initially, one of the theories was that Amy might have accidentally fallen overboard. However, this was quickly questioned due to the lack of physical evidence and the high railings on cruise ships designed to prevent such accidents. The possibility of kidnapping was considered, given the various ports the ship had visited and the potential for criminal elements to board the ship. This theory was supported by later alleged sightings of Amy, suggesting she might have been taken off the ship against her will. Perhaps the most sinister and discussed theory was that Amy could have been a victim of human trafficking. The Caribbean is known as a region where such activities occur, and the fact that Amy disappeared in such a mysterious manner added credibility to this theory. Over the years, there have been several reported sightings of Amy, particularly in the Caribbean. One of the most credible sightings was in 1999, when a tourist reported seeing a woman resembling Amy on a beach in Curaçao. The woman appeared to be in distress and tried to communicate without drawing attention, indicating she might be watched. This sighting aligned with the human trafficking theory and prompted further investigation, but ultimately did not lead to a resolution. In another instance, in 2005, a U.S. Navy sailor reported an encounter in a brothel in Barbados, where a woman who identified herself as Amy begged him for help, saying she was not allowed to leave. The sailor reported this only months later, hindering the timeliness of the response. Further complicating the investigation was the emergence of photos of a woman resembling Amy that were emailed to her parents in 2005, found on an adult website. These photos led to speculation that Amy might have been forced into sex work, a common fate for victims of human trafficking. Despite these leads and potential sightings, none resulted in concrete evidence that conclusively pointed to Amy's location or her fate. The FBI and other involved agencies continued to follow up on every lead, maintaining an open case file on Amy Lynn Bradley. The lack of resolution has been a source of continuous pain for her family and has kept the case in the public eye, attracting attention from various media outlets and independent investigators, hoping to uncover new information that might lead to Amy's recovery or at least provide closure to her distraught family. The forensic efforts in Amy's case have primarily focused on analyzing photographs and videos that have surfaced over the years. Digital enhancements and facial recognition technologies have been employed to analyze images that might depict Amy or individuals potentially involved in her disappearance. However, no definitive forensic evidence has emerged that conclusively links any of the analyzed material to Amy. The lack of physical evidence and the inconclusive nature of the photographs and sightings have made this case particularly challenging. Each new piece of evidence and reported sighting has been rigorously scrutinized, but the passage of time and the transitory nature of evidence in a maritime environment have hindered definitive conclusions. The case remains open, with both law enforcement and Amy's family holding on to hope that new technology, tips, or evidence will eventually lead to a resolution. The Bradley family, driven by a profound desire to find Amy, hired multiple private investigators to follow up on leads that the official channels might have missed or dismissed. These private investigators were instrumental in tracking down witnesses, and gathering statements from people who claimed to have seen Amy after her disappearance. The family funded several trips to various Caribbean islands following up on leads. Each potential sighting prompted a new investigation, with the family often directly involved in the on-ground searches. To incentivize information sharing and help gather leads, the Bradley family established a reward fund, initially offering $250,000 for information leading to Amy's safe return. This amount was later increased, reflecting their desperation and commitment to finding Amy. They also set up a website and participated in numerous media campaigns, distributing flyers and posters, particularly in areas where sightings of Amy were reported. The Bradleys utilized national television as a platform to reach wider audiences, appearing on shows like Dr. Phil, America's Most Wanted, and Vanished. These appearances helped keep Amy's case in the public eye and solicited tips from viewers, some of which led to significant leads that were pursued by the family's private investigators. The family maintained a cooperative yet often strained relationship with law enforcement agencies. They pushed for more aggressive action and deeper investigations, sometimes expressing frustration over what they perceived as a lack of urgency or thoroughness in the official response. Their persistence often spurred law enforcement to take additional steps or revisit the case with fresh eyes. The media played a critical role in Amy's case, with the family using every opportunity to speak to the press to keep Amy's story alive. The attention also brought support from strangers around the world, contributing to the search efforts and providing emotional support to the family. Despite these extensive efforts, the mystery of what happened to Amy Lynn Bradley remains unsolved. The family's relentless pursuit for answers continues, marked by their determination to uncover the truth, no matter how much time passes or how challenging the search becomes. Subscribe to our channel for more updates, hit the like button, and comment below to share your thoughts.